I am so excited. Today is our first ever local game store tour video. Today we're going to be checking out BSP Games in Deland. We're going to be interviewing Marco, the owner, and can't wait for you guys to see this place. Hey, what's up guys? I'm here with Marco, the owner of BSP Games in Deland. It's a very special first video of the local game store tour. If you guys have any stores that you want to shout out and you want me to check out, leave it in the comments below. But for now, let's go ahead and get into our questions, shall we?
Yeah, awesome. I'm ready.
Obviously, we've already talked about your store name, but what's the address and hours that you normally operate?
BSP Games is located at 342B East New York Avenue in Deland, Florida. Monday through Friday, we're going to be open at 2 p.m. all the way until whenever we close. For the sake of having solid business hours, it closes at 9.
Right.
But because we run a lot of events that run past that time, you know, it's usually like around 11 or 12 o'clock in the evening. Now on Saturdays, we open a little bit earlier. We're usually here and open around 11 o'clock. And then we close the same time. So it runs all the way until 9 o'clock. But if we're having some kind of tournament or something, it'll go past that. Sundays, most of the time we're closed unless it's for special events.
Cool,
so sometimes we'll schedule special events, big tournaments, book releases, and then we'll be open just during the hours of that event, and that's it.
Yeah, if you guys saw, my Tales of Aria sealed event was here, and it was on a Sunday, so that's what they're talking about, which is pretty cool. What year did BSP open?
BSP Games actually originally started out as Buy, Sell, Play. So for those of you that don't know, BSP is the acronym for Buy, Sell, Play. Right. And we started way back in 2017.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so
cool.
It seems like forever ago and yesterday at the same time.
right. So a brief history of the store and how you got to where you are today.
It was just like really well aligned for me to do. I was making good money that year in my advertising business. I needed to write some stuff off. I had a friend that needed a job that he would excel in, and he had a passion for Magic. I had a passion for Magic. My kids wanted a store to go play and make friends playing Pokemon and things like that. The only other game store that was in Deland had closed down like literally the year before, so I just saw a hole and I said, look, let's go ahead and give this a shot. We opened up in a small little shop, 800 square feet, and now we're in a 3,000 square foot, what I think is a better location. We're more centrally located, close to downtown. So I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about what we're doing and what we've done for the community and what we've been able to provide so far. So.
Sweet. Yeah, if you guys have a chance to stop by, one of the main reasons that I actually made this a store that I frequent is because he said that he wants to make his store something that a lot of other stores aren't. And every person you talk to at that front counter is going to be incredibly kind and very knowledgeable. Anyway, next question. How was your store affected by the past year's events with everything being closed down and stuff like that?
Whew. I mean, we definitely weren't ready for it, but who was?
Right.
It's one of those things to where we built this business to basically be an event-centric business. We wanted to provide a place where people could come and play the games that they love, and we wanted to excel in that vision. All of our companies that provide us with sanctioning for these tournaments basically said, hey, we're no longer sanctioning tournaments. It hurt. I'm not going to lie. It really hurt, but it also taught us a lot. It made us shift our business model a little bit towards being a little bit more retail focused, being a little bit more online focused. We've always been focused on the retail portion, but we had to focus on that so much more. And I'm not going to lie, there was a few months where we just hard closed down. We just couldn't stay open. There was no reason to. And, we just tried to float ourselves through that. We got some of the government stimulus money to help us through some of those hard times, and we're still dealing with it. We're still dealing with it. And I think that's a lot of businesses are really trying to play catch up right now. So. Aside from that, I'm really excited for the future. I know that a lot of these companies like Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Bandai, all these companies that we run tournaments for are bringing back that sanctioned play. Flesh and Blood. Well, the thing with Flesh and Blood is that they weren't really around at the start of the pandemic, you know. So, you know, we definitely added them into the mix for sure. And honestly, Flesh and Blood specifically, because they had the sanctioned play in other parts of the world, they really helped carry us through the pandemic. It was good. It was good. So we tried really hard. We survived, and we're still trying to make sure that we survive for sure.
Right. So I think you touched on pretty much a lot of the stuff that you mentioned a lot of different games, but what exact games and products do you currently stock in your store?
I'll tell you the main ones that we have. We have Magic the Gathering. We have Pokemon, we have Yu-Gi-Oh, we have Flesh and Blood, Dragon Ball Super, we have Digimon, and Flesh and Blood, obviously, if I didn't already mention that one, because I know you're a fan of Flesh and Blood, but we do have it. It's a product that we stock and we sell very well, especially online. And we run tournaments for all that stuff. We have scheduled tournaments for all that stuff, and people are slowly starting to come and play. Our tournament scene is the thing that I covet the most out of our services and things that we offer. That's what we really want to cultivate here. But as far as retail product, we also have a full line of board games. So any board game that you can think of, we either have it or we can get it for you. We also have Warhammer. We have several large Warhammer 4x4 tables where you can come and play tabletop, where we have Star Wars, X-Wing. We also do a lot of D&D here. Basically all of the really good stuff, and then all of the accessories to go with all of those games. So dice and sleeves and binders and all that stuff that you need. We even carry board game sleeves. So if you have board games and you want to protect, because board games are expensive, let's be honest. Yeah. You know, a lot of people don't know that you can buy sleeves to cover the cards and the assets of your board games. Yeah. Like you can get little tiny Catan sleeves if you've ever played Catan.
I played Zombicide though, and they have like the little token sleeves.
Yeah.
I remember playing with those.
Yeah. So you can, we have that kind of stuff. So we have a huge amount of accessories for all of your gaming needs, and that's what we do. So
cool. All right, are there any games you guys are looking or speculating on in the future to stock here?
Ooh, that's a tough one because there's a lot that are out there. You and I were actually talking about one jokingly about MetaZoo, and that's actually something that I really felt like I dropped the ball on because I had a way back before MetaZoo, while it was still in Kickstarter, we had a guy come in and tell us about MetaZoo. He even gave us some promos and stuff like that. And he's like, "Hey, do you want to run this?" And we were kind of like, we don't know, because we're spread really thin. There's a lot of games.
So many card games.
There's so many. We have to be leery about the games and the things that we bring in here, whether or not the community is going to support them. But pretty high on MetaZoo. I think MetaZoo has had some recent things where they could have done things better, but we feel like once they iron out those problems, it could be great for a collector's market.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that you're going to notice, specifically with MetaZoo, is once second edition releases, and then you can actually get more people playing the game. Right now, it's impossible to touch. People are skyrocketing the prices.
It's really hard.
I mean, it's great for collectors that are wanting to make profit, but for people that just want to play the game like me, I definitely cannot wait for second edition so we can actually get people playing the game and
exactly. And that's the other thing. What a lot of people don't know about stores and stuff like that is sometimes you just can't get the product through distribution. Exactly. You just can't get a hold of it. So it's like I think that a lot of people, when they're thinking about like new games and things like that, it's really difficult to develop the partnerships that you need from a game maker's standpoint to make sure that your product is available in every distributor.
Right.
And if I'm not working with the distributor that distributes that product or that item or that game, then I can't get it. And then if I find out, if somebody tells me like, hey, it's at this distributor, then there's like a long sign-up process, and even then, those distributors have limited amounts of that product. And that's what happened with MetaZoo. I called up one of the distributors that had it, and he was just like, yeah, we'll put you on for like the next release, but it's too late now. We already got all that product spoken for. So it's just like, so that happened. I'm pretty excited about the prospect of Digimon. Okay. Digimon is a relatively new game right now, and it has some potential for growth. The game system and everything, it's really solid. Like, I enjoy it. They got this memory system. It's easy to learn. It's easy to play. The characters are recognizable. And I'm just thinking back to Dragon Ball Super and how that's still going after several years, and how the collectability of the older cards and stuff has skyrocketed. Some of the cards that you could have gotten for $10 3 or 4 years ago are going in the thousands now, and it's ridiculous. So I feel like because of that, the collector's market is there. You got these recognizable characters and everything else like that. That has some potential. It does have a good tournament scene, and I think that that's really important.
Right.
And that's what I hope that MetaZoo gets correctly, is that they get that tournament scene, they get that sanctioned play, and they provide value in that way, and that'll get the greater community finding value besides just the collectability about it. Because all the big games, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, they not only have that collectability factor, but then they also have the playability and huge amounts of sanctioned play and, and a whole driving force behind that. And that's what keeps games relevant for a long period of time. I'm pretty excited about the future of Digimon, and also just the potential of MetaZoo, because I think you got the familiarization. You got the cryptids and stuff like that, like Bigfoot and whatnot, So you have some familiarization there.
I think that's important, because it not only draws in your standard nerds that love card games, but then it also draws in people that are, into that kind of cryptid thing. And, it's cool if there's one that's local to you, and then you can collect it and build a deck around it. And that's pretty neat. It helps ground it, really.
Right, yeah, it does. I just kind of want to see second edition, and I want to see, like, how the meta shapes up, and if there is even going to be a meta, and if it's well balanced. Because those are the kinds of things that you can't tell until people actually start playing the game. And I think right now the card game is so unobtainable that nobody's playing with these cards. Like, would you play with some of those cards? Like, they're worth thousands of dollars, some of them. So it's just like, hopefully second edition makes the game playable, and then it makes it something that players can really enjoy and have fun with.
All right, so brief intermission, going to wrangle the kids.
Let's see. Where that feels.
I think we touched on this a little bit, but what's a local gaming scene like at this store, and what events do you have?
So the local gaming scene, I think, is, I don't know if eclectic is the word. There's a lot of flavor in the melting pot of the gaming scene in the store. We don't have something that stands out above and beyond everything else. Like, you go to some game stores and you're just like, this is totally just a Warhammer store, and that's it. But and I think that has something to do with the way that we've developed the business and run the business. I never took my personal preferences and pushed it onto the customers. I created a safe and, clean space to play, and I let the gamers come in and develop what they want to do. And so because of that, we started getting little pockets of different, fandoms and stuff coming in saying, hey, can we play Yu-Gi-Oh here? And I'm like, of course, get your Yu-Gi-Oh guys in here. We'll buy product, we'll support it, we'll get sanctioned, we'll do all that. So that community kind of grew on its own offshoot. And the same thing for Commander, which is Magic the Gathering, the same thing for Standard and other formats within specific games. Primarily Magic the Gathering has the most formats. Same thing for Pokemon, same thing for Dungeons and Dragons, same thing for Warhammer. So the gaming scene is pretty diverse. We have always made it a point to make sure that it is all inclusive. I want any gender, doesn't matter, to come in here and feel like they are welcomed and allowed to be here, and that they're not going to feel like somebody's going to make fun of them because of how they're dressed or how they look or how they present themselves. So I think that our community is super diverse, game-wise and personality-wise and people-wise. Our community and our gaming scene here is, I think, one of the best in the nation as far as being able to come in here as you are and come in here and just play. The overall scene and how big it is, it definitely has room to grow. A lot of that has to do with the events of the past year, obviously. But I'm excited for that because we have the space, we have the room, we have the base for it. We just introduced a new policy, at least until Christmas, where all events are free.
Wow.
All events. And your prize support is included. It's actually being paid by the store.
Oh, cool.
So, like, you come in for a Friday Night Magic. Previously, we were charging $10. We heard some people complain, saying, hey, that's a lot of money. And I said, you know what? My goal is to have people come in here and play. It's free. I'm not gonna shift down and nickel and dime people. If the people are having a hard time, my goal is to get you to come in and play. I'm doing it for free, and I'm
Cool.
still going to give you your packs, and I'm still going to
Sweet.
do all that stuff.
That's
So
awesome.
that's the gaming community you can expect here
Fantastic.
at BSP Games.
All right. So if they're not able to come into the store, do you guys have an online store? What is and what isn't available on that store?
You can purchase pretty much any product. You can even purchase your entries. The only thing that you can't purchase online, because I'm not going to ship it to you, is our snacks and our drinks. I'm sorry, call Walmart. I'm not going to ship you a soda and a. I mean, I suppose if you really wanted to, we do have a delivery service actually for the local area. And if you called me up and you're like, "Hey man, I want to buy a board game, and can you throw a couple sodas and some snacks?" I'm not going to say no. Hey, if I'm going there for the board game, I might as well, right?
Right.
But we do have a $25 minimum for deliveries, but you can interact with that.
What social media platforms are you on? And then again, like I said, all this stuff will be listed in the description as well.
We actively try to be on every social media platform so we can engage the maximum number of users. I mean, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we even have a TikTok, we have a Twitter, we have, of course, Discord, we have a YouTube, we stream on Twitch. If we're ever having any tournaments, sometimes I will personally get on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook and just stream gameplay for like Arena or Pokemon and stuff like that. Since we have such a small team, and because of the events of the recent years, it's been hard to like hire a social media specific person.
Right.
It's been hard to justify that. And
I feel like, dude, it's just as like a single content creator where I just make YouTube videos. It's hard to keep up with making Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.
gosh.
It's definitely a full-time job.
It is.
You realize that. I just spent probably 4 hours the other night just learning how to make my thumbnails better.
No, it's super hard.
All right, well, that's pretty much all I have. Let me know what you guys thought of this format and how all the questions went. If you guys have any questions that you would like me to ask instead, hit me up with that. Again, if you guys have a local game store that you would like me to visit, give me the owner's contact or the manager's contact information, and I would love to visit as many stores as I can. This is, obviously, it's about getting my name out there, but more importantly, it's about getting recognition to these local game stores. There are so many online retailers you can go to and shop to, but these are the places that are creating a community. These are the places that are giving you a place to play. And so you always want to make sure that you're trying to support your local game store. And if you don't know they exist, you can't support them. So I just want to get to as many places as I can, spread the word about every store that I can. So if you're, visiting, or maybe you live next to a game store you didn't even know, it'll give you a place to go and a place to support, because these guys are special. And, without local game stores, there's probably not games.
That's true.
All right, guys. Till next time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm going to try and end each video with buying some product from the store, right? Because that's the whole point of supporting the store. So we're going to have a little booster pack challenge here to see who got the best pack. And since Crucible War is shot through the roof, that's what we're going to open.
All right, awesome.
This is my first actual Crucible of War product that I've opened, so this is pretty terrifying.
I'll let you go first.
Come on, Fables. All right, I don't even know how this works. Let's see. Okay, that's pretty cool. Kano. Common. All right. Ooh, nice. There's our...
That was your rare right there.
Was it? No, it's common.
Oh, really?
Foil, then rare, maybe? Yep,
Yeah.
There's a rare Dauntless and High-Speed Impact. I'm actually going to build one of those decks. That's pretty good. I don't think that's high value, though.
All right, let's see.
Come on, baby. Legendary.
Here we go. Oh, let me turn it. Okay, here we go.
I'm rooting for you. Ooh, this is right. There we go.
All right. Brutal Assault. Rousing Aether. Swing Fist, Think Later. I love the names of these cards.
Yeah.
Torrent of Tempo. Out for Blood. Choke Slam.
Yeah, baby.
And
Ooh, there we go.
Majestic.
Perfect. Cool.
And we got that.
Nice. Very cool. All right, guys. Remember, support your local game stores. And till next time, guys. Peace.
The difference between my card store and other card stores is that we make this look good.